Let's start our session. Okay. So, Sam, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, during the session, it's very important for you to silent. Be silent. Right? Be
Silent.
silent. Silent. Okay. Okay. Be silent, Sam. During our session, you need to be silent. Silent. So let's start. Okay. And now we start again with brain, mind, and thought. This, and also this. Right? And then also this one, and this left. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, so ready? Are you ready? Yes. Right. So before we start our session, I would like to remind you again about where we were yesterday, right? Yesterday we were discussing about what? Brain, mind, and thought. We've discussed about these three, right? Brain, mind, and thought. We've also have discussed about the fact that brain is a complete concept. It's a complete concept, and this is an abstract concept. This is an abstract concept. And same thing here. This is an abstract concept. So, for you to study or to learn about an abstract concept, of course, it is very important for you to understand or to make model. Okay, so we built a model. We built a model of the mind, which is consisting of the conscious and also the non-conscious. So we have two kinds of mind, the conscious and the non-conscious. So we have the non-conscious and this is the conscious. So you have the conscious and the non-conscious. Okay? Easy. Now, the conscious part of our mind actually relates to what? The conscious part of our mind relates to what? The wave, the brain waves, which are what? Beta, alpha, delta, and theta. So, theta and delta. So the conscious relates to beta wave, while the non-conscious relates to the alpha waves to the delta waves. Right? So you have the beta wave, alpha, theta, and delta. The beta signifies for the conscious. The alpha, theta, and delta signify for the non-conscious. Right? Previously, if you want to explore your non-conscious, it is very important for you to learn or to train how to meditate. How to meditate. Long time ago, I trained myself with a guru about TM, Transcendental Meditation. But it's very long. I mean, like it's not gonna be finished within days. It's sometimes months or even years. For you to master this art of exploring your non-conscious, right? So you have the conscious and you have also the non-conscious. And also, yesterday we've discussed about thought or about the so-called mental representation. What is mental representation? Your mental representation, which is what? Your mental representation is what? How you picture, that's good. How you picture the external world. So how you make meaning. How you make meaning. So this is like, this is your head, this is your brain, and this is the external, should I say, this is the external reality. Okay? And you comprehend this external reality through your senses, and then inside your mind, you build what? The internal reality in the form of what? Mental representation. It can be in the form of a still picture, a picture, or a movie. Now, if I ask you during your sleep, okay, what kind of mental representation come to your mind? Is it in the form of a picture, or in the form of a movie? Something that is moving or something that is still? Movie, right? A movie. So, movie. Later we will discuss also about the art of sleeping. The art of sleeping, and how we can make the full use of our sleep for therapeutic purposes. Take for instance, like for Samuel, for the autistics. We do some therapy during his sleep. So this is very important for you to know a little bit about mental representation. So this is mental representation, can be in the form of a picture or in the form of a movie. Right? A picture or a movie. A picture or a movie. Right? So this is the so-called mental representation. And also, we've learned about pattern.
Wait, I want to take here.
Yes. All right. You don't want to take a note, so just take a picture.
I'll do both.
He said he lost his pen.
Right. Right. Okay. I think I saw your pen somewhere here. Stanley. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I just have this, the cap.
How itu? Tadi di mana Pak? Pen saya. Tadi Bapak pakai.
You see his pen? No? Okay, no problem. Later. Right. Okay, now, also yesterday we've discussed about what? Do you remember? About the pattern. Okay. So from your external reality, and then you take all the data, the information from the external world, and put it inside your mind in the form of internal reality. And the funny thing is, the internal reality, the external reality will never be the same with the internal reality, correct? Yeah. The external reality will never be the same with the internal reality. Why? Because your brain does three things. What are they? Your brain distorts. Your brain deletes. Your brain expands. So your brain distorts. Distorts what? Distorts the fact. The real fact. Okay? Either by purpose, okay, or not. So your brain distorts the image, distort the reality, the real reality. Say, if I ask you, okay, tell me about your day from, when you woke up this morning up until now. Probably, well, it's not probably, definitely you will try your best to explain to me all of your experiences, but in the end, you will never be able to tell me the whole or the complete picture or the complete experiences. probably, you saw so many people because those people are not so relevant to you, then you didn't tell me. Right? So that's what I'm trying to say to you by these thoughts.
Simplify.
Right? You tend to simplify things. Okay? Or sometimes you put more things, you add things to your story without even realizing. So you can either, subtract, or you can add items or, things to your story, right? And sometimes you delete also and generalizes. Okay, well, my day is same like yesterday. You may say like that. Okay? Even though there is no such thing like the same day. Every day is unique. Every day is unique, actually. Every day is unique, right? Well, anyway, from your external reality, and then you build the internal reality, all the data were taken by what? Taken by your senses, and then from the internal reality, you're going to build what? Understanding. That's good, sir. And then this understanding, or we shall use the word meaning, and this meaning that you created inside your mind is the foundation of your understanding, right? If you are learning about something, or your what? Emotional state. And this emotional state will what? In the end, affects your physiology.
Yeah.
And your physiology, in turn, will correlate with the external reality. So it's like looping. Okay? When you make positive meaning, and then you make, say, well, I really cannot use the word positive, negative actually, but okay, for the sake of explaining this concept, I will use it, alright? So if you make the positive imagery or the positive movies, right? And then hence you will get the positive emotional states. So probably your physiology will become more, prime. You're so excited about this lesson, and then that will affect your external reality. So overall, it's going to be looping back. While if you make negative meaning, so you will have negative emotional states. So then probably your physiology will be, it's not so positive. It's not so vibrant, not so energetic. Then that will also affect your external reality. So if you make negative meaning or negative internal reality, we call that condition as your what? Downtime. While if you make no meaning, you just observe, and then later on you can choose, out of this alternative, which one you're going to choose, to your best advantage. Then we say that you are in a state of uptime. Now, yesterday I was looking for this movie. Thank God, we got it, right? So this is the movie. This movie will explain to you about the concept of uptime and downtime. Or uptime and downtime. Right, so what's the movie? Uptime and downtime. So this is the uptime and the downtime. Very good. Can you imagine what is going on there with the flat guy? They don't have concept of three-dimensional object. Right? So you have to be brave to change, to make the leap of faith. Boom! Suddenly becoming three-dimensional. You see things from above, So that's part time. No, this is supposed it's supposed to be funny, This is like serious movie. Okay, so, alright. What do you think about the movie? What do you think about the movie? I really want to know, what do you think about the movie? Explain to me. In your own words. You don't have to worry. In your own words. Just, what do you think about the movie? Anyone? Audrey, maybe you want to go first? Anyone?
So like you said, you have to think from above.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you look at this.
When you see things from above,
You can see everything.
right? So you have to pause for a while. In your life, you have to pause for a while, okay? From the time progression, pause for a while, and then see things from above. So you can evaluate your life. And probably you will get more options in life. And if you get more options in life, well, almost definitely you will change your life. Because now probably this course of life, the course of life, of your life now, provide you with probably what? Limited options, like maybe 2 or 3 options. When you stop for a while, and then you're not viewing from this angle, but from this angle which is above, then you see so many other alternatives that like overlooked by you. Right? So that's the what the movie tried to convey. What do you think?
I think it's like the near-death experience when someone like about to die.
Mm. Right.
Yeah, and they see all your life will be like passing through like
Right.
a movie.
Right. In split second.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Right.
like
Yeah.
this.
Right. Of course. Okay. So instead of jump to the conclusion instantly or make meaning instantly, you have to stop for a while. You have to stop for a while. So make commitment to yourself. You have to stop for a while. Anytime anyone give you like stimulation or give you response, then you have to stop for a while. You stop for a while and then you start to think, what is the best response that I can come up with in this situation? If you can't always do that, then that will become a habit to you. That's what we call. Later, I will come with the word. There's a term for that. There's a term for that. Later, we will discuss about that. But you have to make a habit of doing this. Not directly jump to the conclusion. Just like last night, when you saw a cockroach. Still remember when you saw a cockroach? When you saw a cockroach and then suddenly you jump, right? Right? You jump. Probably you were frightened by that cockroach, right? Right? But have you ever think that actually the cockroach may feel the same way too? Right? Right? It sees like a giant, humongous creature, which is you. And because being a cockroach, you always tend to hide, in the dark, of course, So you try to get, a shade, some shade, which is, instead of running away from you, it will, probably approach you for the sake of finding or getting a shade, which is under your feet, probably. Correct. And instead of, learning about that or understand what it intends, you create, you probably created different meaning, which actually probably, you created that the cockroach tried to attack you. So that's why you jump, afraid of the cockroach, which is actually the same response.
It's more like disgusting.
Disgusting, right?
Yeah, it's not scary, but
It's so scary, okay. But don't you think that actually we have the technology now about the hand soap, antiseptic? So even though you touch the cockroach, and then after, by washing your hand with the proper soap, probably, all the germs, all the diseases, went away.
always remember people like this in Thailand, Vietnam, China.
Can you imagine that those people, there are people in this world, eating what? Bugs.
Yeah.
Right. So again, this is what? This is what? This is what we call the downtime and the uptime. The downtime and uptime. Okay? So you have to always remember. I will get the terms, right? Probably Any questions so far? While we're waiting for the term that I'm about to find for you. Anyone? Any question? Probably here. Methodology in learning. Right action. No. So instead of being bundle of conditioned reflexes, instead of being a bundle of conditioned reflexes, when someone say good things about you, then without you even thinking, you become flattered, instantly, or when someone, say bad things about you, then you're becoming sad instantly without even thinking, So it's like a bundle of reflexes. So it's like a reflex. Like when I hit your what do we call it? Your knee here with a hammer, then suddenly it make a jerky movement like that. It's reflex.
Yeah, or someone like take the bottle which is closed and go like this, you
Right.
close your eyes.
Right. That's reflex. Okay. So when in the state of reflex, you don't give an opportunity for your mind to think what is the best. Remember, what is the best response? Relying on your reflex may not give you the best response.
Just have to stop.
Right. Or in other words, if you run your life on autopilot, it may not be the best life that you can get. Because you're relying on your reflex. Anytime someone say good things about you, then you are flattered. And then anyone say bad things about you, then you are becoming down. So, which is actually those responses are one out of so many other responses that you can make. But you never think about that. aren't you? Right? So that's, and if you keep doing this, later you will become, or you will get spontaneous right action. Spontaneous right action. Because you train yourself, to stop for a while and then think what is the best solution or what is the best response that I can come up with, And then if you keep doing that, you habituate yourself with that method, then the time that it takes, for you to think become, like shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, and then there will come a time in the future when you don't even have to think, but the response is the best response possible. Understand me or not? Right? So that's what we call so stop becoming a bundle of conditioned reflexes and then start becoming, first you have to become a conscious choice maker, So stop. What I'm trying to say to you, you have to stop of running your life on autopilot. So you have to make a conscious choice maker. Because in life, we have, to always make choices. But many times, still remember about the thinking fast, thinking slow? Many times, smart people, they make choices, relying on their non-conscious, don't even think. Just jump to the conclusion like that. So, just like this. So you have to start training. In other way, you have to start to train your non-conscious. Your non-conscious. In a way, I could say, which is actually not right, but I could say things like this. In a way, I want you to start training your non-conscious to act like your conscious, which is analytical. But in a, faster. The non-conscious is your reflex, almost similar to your reflex, which is fast in response. Unfortunately, that cannot, that cannot or it cannot analyze logically. Because if you want to analyze logically, then it takes time. So your response will be slower.
But when you try to stop and think, do you tend to think consciously?
Right. You have to think consciously. So make commitment to yourself in every moment, in every occasion in your life. Whenever you have to make choices, all right, you have to stop for a while and then think. It's not polite. Well, excuse me, okay? You cannot do that, okay? Okay. You cannot do that. You cannot do that, right? You cannot do that. Okay? No, it's not polite. But it's okay, right? Okay? Okay? Are you okay with that? Okay? You don't mind with that, right? Okay? You totally understand about this situation, right? Alright, okay. Now I'm totally,
You're not.
distracted actually with your part. Alright, so again, so anytime I want you, at any occasion, I want you to stop for a while and then make commitment, so you have to make commitment to stop for a while and then think what is the best response that you can come up with. Anytime, you are provided with choices or problems, and if you do that constantly, without you even realizing, you are actually training your what? Your non-conscious. Don't do that again. You scared me, right? You scared me. Okay, no, don't do that. All right. So if you do that, if you keep doing that, you're actually training your non-conscious. Be quiet. You're actually training your non-conscious to start behaving like your conscious.
How does it actually work?
Yeah, so anytime you are provided with anytime you are provided with choices, I want you not directly, jump or to make your choice directly, but I want you to stop for a while, not for long, but for a while, and then subconsciously think about the positive and the negative of these choices. I want you to know the consequences of your action, because there will always be consequences in every action. In every action, you will always get consequences of your action. Right? Now, but so many people, they don't really understand about the consequences of their action. Hence, what they have, what they get later on, is regret. Remember the first day, regret means what? Indicates what? Regret. Indicates what? Regret. Still remember? Regret indicates?
Something that you can ask a result of.
Regret is an indication that you need a coach. Still remember? So you don't need a coach. You don't need coaching. Seriously, you don't need coaching. If you always because if you always know the consequences of your action. Is it possible? Very possible. So you have to train yourself. You have to train your brain. You have to train yourself, training your non-conscious to move or to react or to do the work, to do the thinking that benefits you. Right? Okay. So please start from now. Do not jump to the conclusion too fast, or you will make a downtime. Oh, it's raining, I cannot go anywhere. It's like making meaning, which is actually you are in a downtime. Because that affects your mood.
Yeah.
Right? That affects your mood. Downtime. Okay? But if you are always in the state of uptime, which is you sit your position and then you look from the above, then what you can see is so many alternatives, and out of those alternatives you can pick one which is going to benefit you the most. Right? Sam? Okay? Go ahead. Yeah. Sam? Go ahead. Give it to Evan. Okay, so, right? Let's continue. Any question so far? Pak Wisnu, is there any question? Any writings? Ada tulisan? Ada yang lainnya?
Tanyakan, Bang. Tanyakan.
Alright. Alright. Now these are some of the belief. You still remember what is mindset? Mindset is belief. Set of belief. Belief about yourself, belief about the world, belief about your work, belief about anything. Your belief is your mindset. There are some limiting belief and also some supporting belief. Okay? So these 10 are, I should say, these 10 are the supporting belief that you have to install directly to your mind. You have to install directly to your mind. Right? Ready? We're going to discuss one by one. Right? We're going to discuss one by one. One by one. Right. Let's begin. Let's begin. Number one. The map is not the territory. The map is not the territory. It means what? It means the external is not the same with the internal. The external is not the same with the internal. The external is not the same with the internal. You understand? The external is not the same with the internal. Sometimes people, make fun of you. Sometimes people say bad things about you. Probably their intention is just to make fun. To make hilarious. And doesn't mean to hurt you emotionally. So start from now, I want you to be able to discern or to differentiate between, this is very important, you have to be able to differentiate between action versus intention. Now you come to the therapeutic part. You have to differentiate between action and intention. Say, smoking, is it good or bad for you?
Bad.
According to you, smoking is good or bad?
Bad.
It's bad. That's good. Smoking is bad. Okay. Smoking is action or intention? Action, of course. Action. But every action will always have at least one intention. So what is the underlying intention for this action of smoking? Probably because I have a lot of stress and I want to get rid of my stress. Alright? Okay? Now the intention is good or bad?
Well, the intention is good because they want to get
Good. So you have, look, this is very important. The intention is good. Is it good or bad? It's good, right? But the action, is it good or bad? It's bad. Okay? So now you have to focus not on abolishing the action, which is to stop smoking, but you have to focus your resource or your effort in finding other alternatives to satisfy this intention, one of which is smoking. But smoking is bad according to you. So if you want to quit smoking, you have to fulfill or satisfy the intention. So you have to come up with other alternative apart from smoking that can satisfy, stress relief for you. Come on, anything. Sports, that's good. So instead of smoking, then you can tell yourself or the others, okay, instead of smoking, because you smoke to get rid of all of your stress, you can do sports.
You can do boxing.
You can do boxing. Now, of course, this is not that simple because, when you talk about action, you also talking about the quality of intention. Say smoking give you this high of stress relief, while doing sports probably only give you this amount of satisfaction. So to get completely smoking, you have to come up with other alternative that is easy and as high as smoking. You understand or not? So we're not put the stop to the smoking. Instead, we give the other alternative. That as easy. It's very important. You have to focus. Yes. The solution is to give probably this high of satisfaction, but it's so hard. Whenever I stress, probably I want to go traveling to the North Pole. If I can see the polar bear, probably I won't have so much stress. Yes, but it's too hard. When you give the solution and that solution is too hard, or harder than the existing one, then that person will relapse. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
So that's dilemma number one. The map is not the territory, means what? The action is not the same with the intention. So instead of abolishing the action, you have to start thinking about intention. What are the underlying intention? And then you try to focus on that. Try to satisfy those intentions.
Yeah.
Make sense? Does it make sense? Does it make sense to you?
Well, he did start with this.
Oh yeah, okay.
Maybe it's going to-
Wakata? Wakata? Capiche? Wakata? No, wakata is understand.
Gatti.
Ngerti? She said, ngerti ora? Alright, so. Any question?
Sobek.
What? What's over? Number two, people work perfectly. People work perfectly. You look at Samuel. So you think Samuel is non-functional? I tell you what, Samuel works perfectly. Samuel works perfectly. It's just, his way of doing things may be different with you. His way of learning may be different with you. But that does not necessarily mean that he is non-functioning. If you don't believe me, Samuel, what is 42 times 36? Memang Samuel. 42 kali 3 nomor. Okay, check on the calculator.
Benar.
Okay, Samuel, what is 77 times 23?
1771.
Go check. Huh? See, right?
Masih sobek-sobek buku.
Right? Now, okay. Samuel, what is 54 times 23?
1242.
How does this brain work?
Right, now, you, because you are non-functional, now you are non-autistic, so what is 12 times 15? This is easy. Can you do that? Okay, so you have to use the paper, which is, in other words, what? Is it better or worse compared to Samuel? So which one is non-functioning actually? Is it you or him? So you see, people work perfectly. People work perfectly. But of course, it is very hard, I mean, it's not, mistaken. It's different. Our way of handling Samuel will be totally different with handling you.
But he also have something like that Samuel cannot do.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
So that is why we call it people work perfectly. Everyone works perfectly. And everyone and anyone can be anything. But you cannot use the same method with different people. So it may be different. The method that works for you probably will not work for Samuel, and vice versa. Okay?
Okay.
So when you this is very important because this is the foundation of therapy. Right? when you have this belief that all people are actually working perfectly, then you will not get despair, or you will not get so stressed out, when you apply one method and that method is not working for that particular person. Why? Because you will get, or you will take, or you will use different methods. Same thing apply to self. So you have to apply to self. You have to make this belief, and then you really believe to this belief, install this belief to your mind, that you have to convince yourself that yourself, that you are actually working perfectly. There's nothing wrong with you. Yeah, for real. There's nothing wrong with you. You are working perfectly. And same thing also with you. You are working perfectly. You are God, I should say, God most gracious creature. God most gracious invention, should I say. So you are actually working perfectly. And if you have that belief, then you will never have, the so-called low self-esteem or low self-confidence. Because you are actually working perfectly. You can be anything that you want to be, but of course with different methods. Now, one thing for sure, his brain, specifically with Samuel, but notice that actually his brain is very good with numbers, but not so good with memory. So instead of, now we are actually moving away from math. Moving away from math to Samuel, because we've trained Samuel for such long time, and then I think, and we figure out that actually it's enough. Samuel is actually already mastered numbers perfectly. Now we have to move to other stuff, which is memory. Memory, Samuel is, I should say, still struggling. All right. So yeah, that's belief number 2. People work perfectly. Any question? People work perfectly. You are working perfectly. There's nothing wrong with you. You just need to learn new skill or new method of handling, the current condition. Any question? No? All right. So number 3, people make the best choices available at any given time. You are actually making. Now this is very important. People make the best choices available at any given time. Means what? People means what? People love what? Choices. People love choices. People love choices. So you cannot give one solution. You always have, make commitment to yourself that whenever someone asks you, or you want to ask yourself to come up with some solution, so you have to commit to yourself that you have to always come up with at least three solutions or 3 alternatives. Because one is an option. One is an option. You're being forced to take that. And 2 is binary. When this one is not working, then you only have 1. But 3 is an option. And also, when you understand the third belief, you can make your statement, or you can make your communication in a way that will be more effective. You can say to Samuel like this. Say, Samuel, you want to make Samuel to take a shower, right? Okay, Sam, you can go, take shower now, or 17 minutes after this. Which one would you take? Either way, Samuel will take shower. It's only what? How you rephrase your communication. You put it in some what? Choices, which is actually an illusion of choices. It's an illusion of choices. Right? So when you talk, or when you communicate with others, when you communicate with others, you give them choices. But always remember, what is the underlying outcome that you want? Just recall the taking shower example. But also, when you face problem in your life, you have to come up with at least three alternatives. Don't just come up with one. Don't just come up with two, but three. Right? So every time you face with adversity, with problems, with difficulty, you have to come up with at least three solutions. Right. So number 4, people have all the resources they need. This is actually almost similar to people work perfectly. So from our this morning, our morning session, 4-3, we were actually working to find out or to locate, to identify the resources. I was working with him during the morning from 9 to 12, and then during our session, actually we tried to locate, to identify his resources, his personal resources. Those resources are actually overlooked by you. So over the years, over the time, you never realize that actually you have those resources until we conduct our session. So that is why you have to realize that people have all the resources they need. If you think that you don't have resources now, it's simply because you cannot see. Okay. You said okay. All together. 1, 3. Okay. Left outline. 1, 2, 3. Now. So it's happy. It's happy. You have to be happy. Okay. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. They say being an adult is miserable. Right? Being an adult is miserable, but not with Samuel. Look at that. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you're always happy here. Okay, now stand. Quiet. Okay. So, you said earlier that you cannot do math, right?
I also.
You cannot do math, right?
Very bad.
Very bad at math, right? So actually, based on this principle, number 4, the 4th principle, people have all the resources they need. Actually, you have resources you need to be good at math.
That's not easy.
But you're not using.
Maybe not interested, so you're.
Right, maybe not interested, maybe you're not interested. That's what, overlook. Overlook. But again and again, you are actually, you have those resources with you. You just have to realize that, right? And later, we'll have, the program to enhance your math ability. I will show you, I will prove to you that there's nothing wrong with you in terms of math. Right? Number 5, the meaning of the communication. The meaning of the communication is the response you get. The meaning of the the meaning of the communication is the response you get. What is the meaning of the communication? Is the response you get. So when you have the intention, you have to, remember, I always remember, this is very important, you have to differentiate between action and intention. You may be intending to give good word about a person, but in the end, if that person feeling sad or feeling angry towards you, then your communication is actually not what? Compliment. It's actually like bad words, to that person. So you have to be able to differentiate between action and intention. Hence, we get this, the principle number 5, the meaning of the communication is the response you get. No nonsense. So, What do you think about what he's trying to convey to you? What he's trying to communicate to you by touching you like that?
I don't know.
Joke around, that's good. But you also can, you know, make the meaning, oh, he's attacking me.
Yeah.
Alright?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's number 5. Any question? We're going to, you know, finish our session by discussing all of these 10 principles. This actually we already discussed, right? Still remember? From the external, we get to the internal, and then we make meaning, and then that meaning is actually influencing our state, and that state is actually, you know, affect our physiology, and this physiology affect our behavior, and this behavior of ours is actually, you know, coming back to the external event again. So the pattern repeats itself over and over again. Right? So if you want to change, if you really want to change, you know, if you really want to change the response from the outside world to you, what you have to change first is not the outside, but the inside. Right? If you want to be good in math, you know, if you want to be good in math, it's not about changing, you know, the subject, or it's not about getting the right person or the right teacher, but change your belief towards math first. He's so sweet, right?
Yeah.
He's so sweet. Now, you cannot not to communicate. Yes? You read this correctly. You cannot not communicate. So every time, every moment, every second, actually you are communicating, even though you are silent. Your breathing pattern is actually communication. What happened? Huh?
Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, my first day with demo. It's kind of weird.
First time.
Yeah, my first day with demo. First day with demo.
It was
So
weird.
it's funny for me.
But I guarantee you, they will never attack anyone.
Yeah, I know.
They will never attack anyone, hurt anyone.
Kadang lucu.
Ah.
Kalau ada lucu jangan ketawa.
That's right. Now you are giving advice to yourself. That's good. So his mind is actually recording all the advices he got from the others. But unfortunately, his brain failed to understand all the instructions. Right. So every behavior has a positive intention in some context. Still remember? Action, intention, action, intention. You have to differentiate. Right? Oh, Inti, don't forget that tonight you will have a session with Samuel and with Indi.
No smoking.
Ah, indeed.
Indi,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
Indeed.
At what time?
at 7. Okay, after dinner, right? And you have to work with Masija after this, right? No failure, only feedback. I like this. No failure, only feedback. That's why you still remember the pattern that we discussed earlier. You have to make plan, and then after that, D. What is D? You have to do your plan, and then after that, you have to E. What is E? Evaluate, and then after that, you have to improve. That's good. So you get plan, do, evaluate, and improve. If you repeat this process over and over and over and over again, now look at this. Again, I just want to remind you, This is the quality of your life. Quality of life. And this is time. If you just do this simple method, and you make the ball rolling at faster and faster speed, eventually this ball will jump to this stage. Which means that you are actually improving the quality of your life. So the quality of your life is not determined by your parents. It's not determined by your surroundings. But it's really determined by your mind. If you do plan, do, check, action, plan, do, check, action, or plan, do, evaluate, and improve all the time, and then, at certain speed, this ball will jump to here, and at certain speed, this ball will jump to here, and eventually, you will get your ideal self. Still remember the first days of the video? You still remember how coaching works? Still remember when that tiny guy jumped to the bigger self? That's ideal self. So you have the real self and the ideal self. What happens when your ideal self and your real self, they don't align together? What happens? You have regrets. Right, and then possible in the world, possible for me. This is very important. Possible in the world, possible for you. If something possible for Samuel, if Samuel can do this, Sam, 23 times 46, 23 kali 46 berapa Sam? Okay. Yes. If he can do this, means what? It's possible in the world. If it's possible in the world, then it's possible for you. Just probably take time. I know that. Right? It will take time. It will take time. And if you, with your characteristic, which is actually possible in the world, then it's very possible for Samuel to do just that. To be, as quiet as you are, as calm, composure, like you are. So it's very possible for Samuel as well. Right. Now, and the last but not least, this is the most important. Most flexible is most powerful. Most flexible is most powerful. Sometimes in the world, things not working the way you want it to be. No? You really want it to be, like a visual artist. Maybe the circumstances not, supporting you. Then you have to move a little bit from your ideal self. Maybe. When you keep forcing while the circumstances is not possible, then you will break yourself. But if you most flexible, if you have the so-called, that is why you will learn later on the so-called intellectual flexibility. If you have the so-called intellectual flexibility, means you can get or you can take the positive input from outside and not being rigid with all the things that is already inside your mind, then it's very possible for you to grow. You can only grow if you get positive feedback, positive input from outside. Understand? Right? Oh,
Kan bilang nggak boleh tadi. Tadi bilang nggak boleh. Kenapa kamu lagi? Lupa ya? Kalau bilang nggak boleh. Jadi bilang dong.
Ambil kentut.
Iya nggak boleh.
Yes, sir? It's not polite.
It's so English.
Right? It's not polite, sir. And this is This pattern we already discussed, right? We've already discussed this pattern, right? Now, next.
It will be
Okay, that's the end. Okay, I'm going to discuss to you this last pattern. Right? A lot of times, because you want to achieve what? You want to achieve what? Peak performance. A lot of times, people with peak performance, they will start with the why question. Why question? Why question? With the belief question. Take for instance like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs really believed to challenge the status quo. And how to do that? By creating different kind of computer. What you're going to create? Probably buttonless phone. Hence you get the iPhone. Or probably the slick looking computer. And probably you get the MacBook. So you start from the why. While so many others, not so good, not so perfect, they start from the what. Okay, what do you want? I want money. I want to make money. How? By working. Okay, by any work that I can find. And then should you end up, with certain work, and then somebody asks you the question, out of 1,000 alternatives of working, why you chose this profession? I don't know. When we cannot answer the why question, you know what happens? You will never be the peak performer. You can only be the peak performer if you start with the why question. It means what? You will have abundance resource. You will never get so tired easily. This answers your question, correct? Last night, sir, aren't you going to go home? And I said to him, no. I will stay here with you. Remember that? You asked me a question. Aren't you going to go home? You also have to have more question actually. Aren't you get tired of working with work? No, because I love my work. Why? Because in my life, a lot of people help me during my life, during the course of my life. And I like to grow. And in order to grow, I believe that I have to also give to you. It's like the water dispenser. A water dispenser. That's my belief actually. Okay? Like a water dispenser. So this is like a dispenser. Right? This is the tap. Dispenser. Okay? And this water dispenser, okay, oh my God, will be replaced. No, that's because he cannot, he fails in doing the abstract thinking. He cannot do that, the abstract thinking. So your statement or your advice only work for at that certain time. But for the future, you cannot. So that is why every time, we need to repeat, remind him. And remember, I told you that his memory is not so good. So not only that you have to repeat your advice, but also you have to work with his memory. If you ask him, okay, son, tell me again what you just said 5 minutes earlier. He cannot do that. Okay, so you're fortunate actually. Right? So you can, I believe that because I like to grow, so I can only get more information if I disperse the information. Otherwise, if the information I keep it by myself, then what happens is that, when, I cannot, that will restrict me from getting more information. So I can only get more information if, I flow the information to you, to everyone. so I can get more information. That's one idea. Right?
Wait, I wanna ask.
Yeah.
What do you mean by if we're giving information to someone, like how are you getting more information? Because you're the one that give information to other people.
Yeah. From your question,
After my question.
when you ask me a question that I cannot answer, that will stimulate my thinking. Then I will seek more information. Hence, that make me grow.
Handy plus.
Right? So that's my belief. So that is why, because I start with why, and I chose this profession consciously because I know my value. Consciously, I love to grow. And because I love to grow, I chose this profession. So, if you ask me, sir, aren't you get tired? Aren't you, don't you want to go home? Yes, I'm tired, but
Handy plus.
somehow I just want to keep doing this. It's like a hobby, That's passionate.
So it become a lifestyle, right?
Lifestyle. That's good. That's become a lifestyle. So before we conclude, because I need to go to Adiaksa after this, I have a session also in Adiaksa. So do you have any question?
I think it's clear.
It's clear? Right. So now, by tomorrow I will discuss about LEQ. L-E-Q. And remember, tomorrow we will have the opportunity to go up to the retreat in the mountain together with Tijan and with the gang.
No. Oh, okay.
Right? So any question? Maybe? You have any question? No? Okay. So you will have a session with Samuel and Indy by 7. Well, I guess that's it for now. Okay? That's it for now, and we'll continue tomorrow. Right? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.